Hey YouTube, hey subscribers, thanks for tuning in. In this video, we're going to talk about how narcissists, especially malignant narcissists, are tortured by their own minds. So as we've talked about on this channel before, I did a video called Why You Should Never Try to Help a Narcissist because their lives are their own reward. And I've had the opportunity to see the inner workings of some malignant narcissists' minds recently, and the conclusions that I'm drawing from what I've seen and what I've been witnessing is that in many ways, malignant narcissists are tortured by their own minds. Now, they wouldn't call it torture, but it is. Why is it torture? Because they can't figure out why their lives aren't the way that they want them to be. They can't figure out why they keep having so many interpersonal problems. They can't figure out why they can't just get people to do what they just want them to do. They can't figure out why people just won't cooperate with them and just give them what they want. So the irony in dealing with these people, and the irony of these people, is they're so firm and rooted in the narcissism, but they have a complete inability to see how it's impacting their lives. And it's truly fascinating. So for them, it's almost like being in a room where none of the pieces of technology are working or they're malfunctioning. So they go to flip a light switch, the light won't turn on. They go to power up their laptop, the laptop won't boot up. They turn on the TV, the signal is scrambled. They pick up the telephone, there's no dial tone. Imagine how crazy that would make you feel over time. And what's worse is that not only is everything in the room malfunctioning, but they also can't leave the room. So they spend their entire lives in this room with malfunctioning equipment and technology, and it slowly drives them crazy and insane because nothing is working for them. So in very many ways, narcissists are imprisoned by their own minds. So oftentimes people come on the channel here and there and they say that we need to be a little bit more kind and empathetic and sympathetic to narcissists, essentially for this very reason. If their minds are torturing them and they have no power and no control to change it, then should we be so harsh in our approach towards them? And my answer to that question is yes. The reason why is because, voluntary or not, that state of being trapped in that type of mind is still very dangerous to themselves, to the people in their immediate vicinity, and to society at large. So just because it may or may not be within their control, which I personally believe it is, but that's up for debate, just because it may or may not be in their control doesn't make it any less dangerous. Think about it like this. Imagine if a Bengal tiger was trapped, say in a pit or ensnared by some type of trapping device or whatever, but still alive, but been trapped by this device or in this pit for a while. Imagine how that tiger is going to behave. It's not going to be docile and friendly and approachable. It's going to be aggressive and mean and angry because it's trapped and it can't figure out how to get out. So eventually the rage turns into a certain desperation. So if someone comes up on this Bengal tiger and wants to help the tiger, they're probably going to get mauled to death. Not necessarily because the tiger is a bad tiger, but because the tiger is trapped and desperate and angry and confused. So you're not going to leave the tiger there because you have a heart and you're a human being and you don't want to see the poor thing suffer, but you also can't risk being mauled by the tiger in an effort to save it. So you're really left with three options. Leave it there, which feels very cold. Leave it there to die, which feels even colder. Or try to help it, but before you can help it, you have to tranquilize it so it doesn't maul you to death in your efforts to help it. So those who go with the third option have to tranquilize the tiger and then move it to another location. Once you've freed the tiger from the trap, you don't necessarily want to hang out with the tiger. You don't want it riding shotgun in your passenger seat. Why? Because the tiger is still a tiger. Regardless of its trapped or not trapped state, it's still a tiger. And so the nature of what it is makes it to where you probably don't want to have much contact, or you want to have very controlled contact with that Bengal tiger. So maybe a person frees the tiger, they tranquilize the tiger, they free it, they take it back to, say, their farm. Chances are they're not just going to let the tiger roam free on the farm. It's going to have some boundaries around it. It's got to have some type of separation because it is inherently dangerous. Even though the tiger might be the world's sweetest tiger, it's still a tiger. It has instincts in it that you can't override no matter how kind you are to it. So because of that, you have to distance yourself or create some strong boundaries between you and the tiger. Narcissists are that tiger. With human narcissists, it's the same thing. You see them there, you see them trapped in their mind, and you have three options. Walk away because there's really nothing you can do. Leave them there, not to die, but leave them there to their own devices, which essentially is the same thing as walking away. Or trying to help it, but you have to neutralize and tranquilize it first before you can assist it because it is inherently dangerous, which is why most people choose the no contact route, because even once you've freed, and I put that in air quotes, the narcissist, they're still a narcissist. So they still retain their same level of insanity. They're just out of whatever trap they were in that you attempted to free them from. There's an old Aesop's fable called The Farmer and the Snake. Let me read it to you real quick. A farmer walked through his field one cold winter morning. On the ground lay a snake, stiff and frozen with the cold. The farmer knew how deadly the snake could be, and yet he picked it up and put it in his bosom to warm it back to life. The snake soon revived, and when it had enough strength, bit the man who had been so kind to it. The bite was deadly, and the farmer felt that he must die. As he drew his last breath, he said to those standing around, "Learn from my fate not to take pity on a scoundrel." This is very hard for codependent people because part of what makes you codependent is your massive heart. You have a very, very big heart, and it's very hard for you to watch others suffer. So when you see suffering, your natural instinct is to try and cure it. You can't cure what someone is. All of the love and kindness in the world will not take away instincts, and it won't change character. You don't have that kind of power. And oftentimes when narcissists are down and out, they are the kindest, sweetest, most genteel people you'll come across because they're very vulnerable. But as soon as they regain their strength, as soon as they're back in full health or full whatever, they revert back to their natural instincts and their character. And this is why you should never really try to help them. You see the Bengal tiger trapped, you love the kitty cat, but you have to leave the kitty cat there or leave it to the professionals to deal with the tranquilization, freeing, and relocation of that Bengal tiger. But you yourself trying to go in and help the tiger is probably going to get you mauled or bitten, as in the case of the farmer and the snake story. So as tragic as it is, and as sad as it is to know that most narcissists, probably all of them, are tortured by their own minds and are tortured by the consequences of their fixed mindsets. So that's really part of the problem with narcissists. Their minds are not very flexible. They're set in stone. They're rigid. They can't entertain new ideas. They don't know how to dispose of old ideas. So it's a very fixed mindset, and life by nature is adaptable. Life changes every day. No 2 days are exactly the same. So to live with a fixed mindset is to almost guarantee your own torture. Now again, the big debate is if it's biological and something they can't change, then we should be kinder to them. But once again, like the farmer and the snake, that kindness is going to get you bitten and continues to get you bitten. So it becomes a situation where you have to let nature sort itself out, essentially. You have to let nature take its course and just hope that maybe one day medical science will discover a way to help these people get free from their own mindset. I'm amazed at how beliefs and how thoughts, something so intangible, have so much power and control over the human person. It's really incredible. It really determines the course of your life. The beliefs that you hold, the outlook that you hold on the world determines where your life goes. And I'm just fascinated by that. For those of you who don't have the heart to leave the snake frozen on the ground or leave the tiger in the trap, what you have to do is find a way to create some very firm boundaries. So really, your primary goal is to know that snakes and tigers are out there, do your best to maintain an awareness of their location, and maintain a healthy distance or erect very, very firm and secure boundaries to keep yourself away from the danger that is that particular narcissistic mindset. Hope you're having a great weekend. Thanks for watching, and as always, I grant you the permission to exist. Bye-bye.